many of you guys actually saw Hatchet 2? That's one of you.
There it is, okay. Well, thank you for going to see Hatchet 2, even though it was in theaters for 3 days, and pulled, not because of low business, like they say, but I believe because of all the controversy with the unrated, and all the stuff that came down on Dark Sky, really, and on AMC.
Yeah, it wasn't in the theaters long enough to see how much money it pulled in before they took it out, so don't believe those rumors.
I mean, it was the first horror movie in, 25 years since Dawn of the Dead to be released into the theaters as an unrated horror movie.
Right, so I think we at least, made some kind of history getting it in the theaters, even though it wasn't as long as we would like. But it was nice for the first time ever for me to watch a movie in the theaters the way we shot it, instead of the way that someone else believes you should view it. And it was nice just to be able to see that.
And to see your love scene on the big screen.
Yeah. That's right. I did have a sex scene in the movie for those of you that didn't see it. That's right, I'm not even kidding either.
Kane likes to talk about that scene a lot. And it's
I
not
like
a sex scene with me, if you guys are wondering.
No, it was a sex scene with Victor's mom. Who wasn't the person that you thought it was, but
Not your mom, well, you're right.
Victor's
But
mom.
he's playing Victor's dad.
Yeah.
They're getting all sync on us in here.
Hey, but anybody see Fear Clinic?
Yeah.
At that time, that was the one scene I did with Danielle was the closest I had ever had to a sex
He
scene.
stuck his tongue in my ear.
I stuck my tongue in her ear. Now, just by a show of hands,
He kept saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
by a show of hands, who wouldn't enjoy sticking their tongue in Danielle's ear? Yeah, see that? And I got to do it, motherfuckers.
We don't even need a moderator, we'll just fuck with each other the entire time.
Well, I'm sure we've got some people out there who are eager to ask some questions. So, anybody? Yeah, all the way back.
All the way in the back. All right, no, I was just curious about the fact that they did pull it. Do you think that's a step backwards from where we want to be, or are they little baby steps forward? The fact that you got
I still think it's a step forward because we did get the unrated movie in the theaters.
But I guess my question is, do you think that makes other filmmakers scared to put out that type of movie because they think that they're not going to be able to make any money back off of it?
That's a good point. You don't know if people are going to shy away from trying to do it again, or if they'll say, well, they did it,
Right.
and it didn't last as long as we would have liked, but at least they got it there. So, just time will tell whether people will try it again or just back off saying it's never going to stay in theaters anyway. I think eventually it will be a positive step.
I hope they do, because that was an awesome experience. I like what you guys did. That was awesome.
You what?
I said, I hope they do, because I like what you guys did. That was awesome.
Thank you.
What memory stands out from filming the most?
I don't want to give away the ending, so I probably shouldn't say that, but did there be a memory? I don't want to ruin it for some people, like a spoiler alert.
Yeah, the ending of the movie wasn't quite as you would have had expected it to be. There was one survivor on it, but it wasn't the person you might have thought would survive. And it's hard to say, but that has to be her favorite moment, in the movie, I would think, just because it's so cool that the way it ended up.
Very cryptic.
Very vague, but those of you that saw the movie know what I'm talking about.
Going back to the MPAA.
Oh, before we do that, curb stomp for me.
Ah.
That's a kill that's in the movie. It's the best curb stomp you've ever seen, I think.
I told you my girlfriend came with me to the premiere in
curb stomp was pretty vicious, and I heard of other people getting at least to the point of almost throwing up. But,
Kane tore his bicep, or what was it that
I
he
tore my bicep in the fight
That
with
fight.
RA. This is a 7-hour fight that we had to do, and about half an hour into the fight, I tore my bicep. So the entire rest of the fight scene was done with that injury, which was not comfortable at all. But I think the fight came out pretty good anyway.
I got pneumonia after being in the water. It was like 50 degrees or 45 degrees. It kept getting pulled out every, the movie Hatchet 2 starts in the same exact frame that the last Hatchet ended. So I just, it's me in the water now instead of Tamara. So fighting him, and it's freezing and horrible. You didn't even have, I had a wetsuit on, but it didn't
Right.
matter.
No, it doesn't really.
Oh, God, it's
And
horrible.
the thing with Hatchet 2 was the first Hatchet, like she said, Tamara, the actress that played her character in the first movie, she was in the water, but it was in April, and the water wasn't as cold. When she had to be in the water, it was early February, and it was freezing. And believe me, I was in the water both places, much worse where she was. And the
Like
bottom was
2 feet up. They tried to do it in New Orleans, and Adam Green and the producers kept saying, we're trying to find a swamp where there are no gators. But we can't guarantee it, but I think we could do it, and they're telling us that this time of year, they're kind of, not really in the water, and listen, I don't ever complain about anything. You guys can pretty much do anything to me, but I do not want to go out that way. I can just see great publicity for you guys, not so much for me. Danielle Harris dies by being eaten by a gator, filming Hatchet 2. Great. And so we ended up doing it at the Disney Ranch in LA, but it's still freezing and outdoors. And I thought, oh good, I'm on a ranch. I'm thinking man-made lake, blah blah blah, whatever. No fish, I don't like fish. If you guys ever seen interviews like that, fish is like a thing for me. So then there were like ducks in the water and snakes and all kinds of gross stuff. And we get in and I get in the water and it's freezing cold and it's probably thigh deep of, you get in and you sink because of all of the duck poop.
That's not an exaggeration.
No,
It was
it's
an artificial
safe.
pond, a concrete bottom, but you would never know it because of this
Yeah,
much
like
duck
concrete.
shit. I couldn't even walk in it.
I couldn't even swim in the scene. A, because I was freezing and I couldn't breathe, and B, because I couldn't move because I was physically stuck in the ship.
And also, when she stabs me in the eye, and I go off the boat, and I go under, if you ever watch it again, my feet stay up in the air a little bit out of the water because my fucking head was stuck in the ship.
Me too. I saw the opening and I've seen it a bunch of times and I thought, God, I'm not doing a good job because there's a couple moments where I'm not even using my arms to swim. My arms come up real quick and I'm just standing there.
Walking
I
on
was walking, trudging through. So those are some funny stories.